Oh, hey man. About to head out. Playing some Skyrim, I see. No, I'm actually playing Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Oh. Sorry, I didn't know there was a difference. Well, there is. You people are all the same. It's been released 6 times because it's that good. Are you sure it's not just because Bethesda blew it on Fallout 76, needed money, and knew you'd pay for another Skyrim? Shut up! And don't you dare even think about making a video about this. I swear to God. Remasters and remakes. We've started seeing a lot more in the past few years, especially on modern-day consoles. And not only have we gotten amazing titles such as Final Fantasy VII Remake or Spyro Reignited Trilogy, but we've also gotten our fair share of GTA Definitive Trilogies or our Skyrims. That's not to say I hate Skyrim or anything. I haven't even finished the game, even after all this time. But can you even finish a game that's been released 6 times already, and will probably be released again in the next 3 to 5 years? Who honestly knows? Please let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. But while we're on the topic of Skyrim, I'd like to dive into some logical reasoning here. Skyrim has been released 6 separate times over just about everything from PCs to Switches, even to modern-day next-gen consoles. But why? And I swear, if anyone just commented, because it's so good, delete it now. Because while yes, Skyrim is a phenomenal game and experience, until the Anniversary Edition, the only additional content we've received for it were graphical upgrades, modder support, and some bug fixes over the years. Meaning that until recently, we've gotten the same game 6 times! And while it's an absolutely amazing title that takes its players on the true adventure of a lifetime, does it have to be re-released that many times? I mean, think about the original titles of almost any game that hasn't been remade or remastered. At the time, many of those same titles were released, there wasn't anything like them. Because of this, they became timeless classics. Games like Persona 4 on PS2 or Wii Sports don't technically need the upgrades a remake or a remaster would afford them, because it's hard to redo something that was already done so well. And yes, I am aware that Persona 4 was re-released on the PlayStation Vita as Persona 4 Golden and got graphical updates, some additional content, etc. But that game can still stand on its own. But, as many games and their winding emotional narratives get etched into the great halls of gaming history, it's hard to just put them aside forever. Sometimes a remaster or a remake is done to preserve the title's greatness, and sometimes even introduce a whole new generation of players to the same amazement we all shared when we started our gaming journeys. And I'm not here to argue that these re-releases of games are bad in any way, shape, or form. Again, there is so much to explore with modern technology, and the creative teams of passionate people now have so many tools at their disposal that with the right experience or passion, anyone can make just about anything. Which begs the question, what makes a good remake or remaster? And what makes a bad one? As I mentioned towards the start of this video, Rockstar Games promised us a blast from the past with the GTA Definitive Edition, and I'll admit, I was pretty excited myself for these titles to be released on modern-day consoles, but what we got wasn't even close to what we were promised.
Wow. No wonder the families ain't up on it. Apart from Smoke, Sweet, and you know yours truly, Grove Street don't bang no more.
Granted, the game has gone through some patching and many graphical glitches, as well as other broken aspects of the game have been fixed at time of recording. But when the original titles managed to look and play better, as well as be less buggy, even with an outdated control scheme, those games will always be better than the Definitive Edition, which, in my opinion, shouldn't even be the case. Because Rockstar has made amazing games before, and told amazing stories through its detailed characters and massive open worlds. This title completely missed the mark, however, and does deserve the backlash it's received from the players. If you're going to remake a game, or even an entire video game series, make sure to stay faithful to the original while also changing things that need to be updated, without taking away from the experience that made the damn thing so amazing in the first place. Or actually finish it before you release it. I'm looking at you, CD Projekt Red. Be more like the team at Square Enix that remade and completely reimagined Final Fantasy VII. Not only did they lovingly craft the first 5 to 7 hours of the original into an entire emotionally invigorating and powerful title of its own, but they also managed to add even more depth to the characters we know and love, keeping the bits of the game that are important and reinventing everything else. all while keeping the story straight, the game polished and beautiful, and the people who love this game and its series in the forefront of their minds at all times. Recreating a title in any way, shape, or form should not be solely for financial gain, and many companies and studios need to understand that we as players are tired of receiving broken or unfinished products. When a game studio announces a remake or a remaster, it should bring out the best of what made the original shine the brightest. Because a bad remake of a title can ruin the experience for someone who's never had the luxury of being alive or even able to play it when it was originally released. And to me, that's the worst thing you can do to someone who's been waiting for a chance that long. And again, this isn't all remakes or remasters, but you definitely know the ones I'm referring to. But let's quickly revisit the good side of this topic, because as I've mentioned throughout this video, there are amazing titles that have come from remaking or remastering games. Whether it's childhood classics or newer titles getting a fresh coat of paint, rebuilding or recreating those very games shares so much with both the old and new generations of players. For instance, I never got to play games like Final Fantasy VII or Crash Bandicoot as a kid, but that's because I didn't have them at the time, and I can only imagine how it would feel to experience the whole of Final Fantasy VII's story for the first time with the remake. Talk about a bunch of spoiled gamers. But if there are pros and cons to this topic and the games that it impacts, why make a video on it at all? Because it gets you thinking, you know, and it might even help you decide whether or not you want to buy that 4K Mega Ultra HD remaster of that one game that you love that's coming out soon. And hey, if not, it's still good to reflect on these things from time to time, because you never know what you're going to get nowadays when anything like this is announced. So always remember to do your research and not get too overhyped about something without good reason. But also remember to enjoy the games and play the titles you enjoy. After all, that's what makes video games so awesome in the first place. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. I decided to do something a little bit different with this one and kind of go on a more topical approach to things, so please do let me know down in the comments below if you do like this kind of video. If you did like this video, make sure to punch that like button in the face, subscribe for more amazing Let's Talk Gaming content, and go and check out all of my other shows on the channel. I'm coming out with a couple more hopefully soon. By the end of the year, hopefully we'll have more of that figured out. But right now, Let's Talk Gaming and Monthly Minute are going strong. Monthly Minute just released a new video a couple days ago. I'm actually super pumped about it. If you guys want to go and check it out, catch up on the latest gaming news, go and click on that eye somewhere or click on a video somewhere on the screen. It should show up, one or the other.